Holy crap, it's Facebook. And we are the Podguyz podcast. Welcome to the show. I am Tony Kaz.
Kevin Neary here. Yeah, Kevin Neary here.
Of course, we have the ever-loving Picasso, the owner of the big board, the Udo de Toilette of the stick figure, Les Sparky. Sparky's day after Christmas. Here, everybody catch.
Look at that. He's throwing frogs at everybody. Frogs.
Is that green breath mints? What is that? Is that dollar bill, Sparky? Are you the ho 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 of Christmas?
Yeah.
Oh, excellent. Excellent.
We can only assume that that's the lowest denomination of any green bill. Because most of that money is going towards the Star Wars pods. Sparky, what did you get? Did you get another figure there for Christmas or no?
About 10.
10. Well, there you go. As many as
Montana,
hands and
Montana.
fat fingers. That's amazing.
Well, we are joined by a fourth square today. We have the multi-talented, multifaceted Danielle Booher on our show today.
Round of applause. Don't boo her.
Do not boo her, please.
Thank you. Thank you for holding your booze. I appreciate it.
That would be crazy if somebody just like ran through Tony's fucking window there and started. I heard, like they had an open opportunity.
Yeah, it's the Kool-Aid man.
Oh, crap.
Oh, yeah.
Kool-Aid guy, you suck. Hey, thanks, Kool-Aid guy. You've gotten really angry over the years, haven't you?
That goddamn Kool-Aid man. What are you gonna do, right? Well, I'm gonna introduce Danielle to the to our of course our podcasting world. She is a mom. She is a nurse. What kind of nurse?
Work in recovery room.
Recovery room. Okay. You are a sitcom writer, hopefully for this year, right?
Yeah, just the pilot so far, but hopefully, yes. I thank you for saying it that way. So hopefully it becomes a real sitcom this year.
A comedy, a drama,
It's actually like a little bit of everything, but it totally is a drama because it's called Drama for the Mamas, like literally. So yes, it's like a comedy like thing about family and a hot mess.
I was hoping for the name Shoes for the Booze.
Booze.
No, that's not it, but that's a good name though.
Yeah, that's a good name too. Yeah.
Like that's not. I will write that down.
Maybe for book two or for pilot two. Maybe for pilot.
Maybe.
Of course, you're an author of a book as well, coming out in 2023, named.
It's called. Here's the so funny. Like, I'm like going blank. It's called Power Up Your Past. I know what it's called. Woo! It's loud.
No, I'm assuming that is a self-motivation book of some sort.
Yeah, so it's really awesome. Actually, it's I'm a co-author, but there's like a lot of us. So there's a lot of us authors, and it's based out of the UK. Most of them are from the UK. And so all of us answered questions. And so every chapter are those about those questions. And so we answered 10 each, and there's 30 questions. So it's really cool. It's all about, like inspiring, motivating, and like helping people not go through maybe what we went through, and trying to like help the ones that are going through it right then. So it's a never ending journal series. So they want the people that read it in 2023 to be in the next one, which is amazing.
We're going to be a very serious podcast today. Very serious. We're throwing away the comedy.
No, you can joke.
If anytime Sparky
no, just for one
now.
part.
If anytime Sparky should be writing the pyramid scheme with the damn stick figures, it should be now with the damn book idea. I've seen these book ideas, and you have a lot. It's great for exposure towards new writers on the block, right? Not to say that the idea is bad or good or anything like that, but my sister got published that way off of she did poetry when she was much younger.
Awesome.
And they used to do those kind of things where it's just like, by the way, into the next one, it would say that you won. They used to do it the old 90s way, though. the late 90s way, where they said, well, you won a contest, right? Where your poem was so great.
Your sister's a Pulitzer Prize winning journalist as well.
Oh my gosh.
Yes, she is. Yes, she still works for The Voice of Russia. And, it's obviously not as popular to be bragging about Russian journalism these days ever.
Yeah.
But she has done work in the Ukraine as well. But she got her start that way, Danielle, just right off the rip. And I kind of I had to get in her ear about it, because I remember even 2 Christmases ago, I said, Sarah, remember that poetry contest you won? And then they made her pay a $45 entry fee that also paid for a free book for her.
Yeah.
And I'm thinking to myself, wait a second now. So you just guarantee them one sale just by putting your name in the book, sort of thing. But it's still in there. It's still published. Is it a hard copy? Is it a Kindle, Danielle?
No, it's literally huge. It's going to be a huge hard copy, and it's exciting. I'm excited, and like I'm going to hopefully write a book with my 9-year-old as well. And I have other ones I want to write about my life, but I have ADD, so it's very hard to wrangle me in. So like the fact that they broke it down and was like, this is what you need to do. This is when you need to do it by. Bam, bam. I was like, okay. Like it was so easy, but doing it myself.
No, we've had many guests, of course, with ADHD backgrounds, ADD backgrounds.
Yeah.
They in particular, not necessarily self-diagnosed, but like a lot of, are you self-diagnosed ADD?
Well, here's my joke. So I finally got up the nerve to get diagnosed with ADHD and anxiety by Dr. TikTok. And I'm so grateful, because everything makes me anxious. Like right now, I want to throw up, shit myself, and pass out.
Wow.
That's what, yeah.
That
So
makes for
and
great
some
live
people can't
television,
even-
by the way.
And some people can't even do those things at the same time. You know
I
that? It's weird. You got some constipated bulimics out there that are just like, man, jealous.
I know. See? So yeah. So that's one of my my stand-up jokes, because being on that stage makes me feel like that. But yeah, so no, literally, I'm pretty sure that I have it. My son was diagnosed with it at 4 years old. And so I know what it looks like, and I'm a nurse as well. So I just haven't gone to the doctor, but yeah, you can call me self-diagnosed, but I definitely know, like, if you take any test that has to do, even the ones with like thousands of questions, I tick almost every single box. So yes, but that's my joke. So yeah, sure, I'm self-diagnosed, but go ahead. What were you saying, Tony?
No, I think you should call it the hick chart. It's the hiccup shit fart.
Oh,
Yeah, the hick chart. Yeah.
That's what was missing.
Oh my God, my body's just resetting.
You've experienced a hick chart,
It's the hick chart.
We had ADHD, adult ADHD life coach on, Shane Tharp, and he had a plethora full of information about ADHD.
yeah.
So the weirdest
Shane?
thing that
I do.
Oh,
Shane-
fantastic.
Shane
guest.
is outstanding.
Fantastic.
He's amazing.
One of my favorite people of all time that we've had on here. And, we got into it where it's like a majority of the world has undiagnosed versions of ADHD, but
Yeah.
the minority of the world that doesn't do the working or anything like that anymore, because they've been able to benefit off of the system that was created. That's why they're up there with the cash. Aren't even experiencing, the everyday struggles, like a person with adult ADHD would. So it's kind of interesting that it's not like people in the majority of ADHD haven't been given the reins of saying, all right, then change it. They're also known as brilliant procrastinators. So
Yeah.
they're like, we will change it tomorrow. We got a whole bunch of crap going on over here. It's like, God damn it, guys. sense of direction might be one thing that's missing right now. But Danielle, you also have a podcast, correct?
Yes, I do. It's called
Multifaceted, I'm telling you. Multifaceted.
Well, I don't know, but thank you. So it's called Authentic Points of View. And I actually interviewed Shane as well. And he's amazing.
Nice.
And he might have slightly diagnosed me with it, even though he's not allowed. No, I'm just so he said, I'm not
He knew.
saying, yeah, he goes, I'm not saying what kind you might have, but and I was like, yeah, no, I already know, bud. Like, that's why I was talking to him about it. No, he's really cool. He's very smart, very intelligent, and he's helping so many men in his group. I love it. And it's so much needed that they need to hear it from men that are going through this. So I think it's amazing that they're doing that. And he's just a great person, great energy, such a great person. So yeah. So, but yes, my podcast talks about everything. So it's literally called Authentic Points of View. And I speak to people from it's just all about everything, about their authentic points of view. And the hope is to help, just like that did when Shane came on, but it's to help people and let them know that they're not alone and that everybody's going through something that they're going through. And so it's more motivational, but I do comedy on there. Like, even if we're talking about really sad stuff, we're going to laugh. Like, not at the sad stuff, but I still try to make people laugh and like make it lighthearted and like, cause it's real and it's raw, but also like joy and laughter is part of life as well. You know what I'm saying? So it's like, it's every episode is like me being crazy. And
Neil, you are preaching to the choir right now.
So
that is the epitome of everything that we do in this show. Is, of course, not to make fun. We don't poke fun at people,
right?
We try to do things with a light heart. And if there is a comedic side to things, of course, we like to bring it up. But there's super important topics that we'd love to cover as well. And mental health is a huge one for us.
Yeah, definitely.
Yeah, well, there was a lot of subjects that just you have to address if you're running a weekly podcast or even a part of one, and you can't ignore it. Like for instance, COVID, Black Lives Matter. You have celebrity deaths. You have Kanye West, Logan Paul. You have like a whole
Mike Tyson
that normally you wouldn't. We go over it before show sometimes, and sometimes after show for the next week and stuff. And we try to take either a I always say, Tony, want to hit this like with the silly bat, or do you really want to get a little serious, then a little silly, then full stupid, then back to serious? So it's I would say 8 out of 10 times we really knock it out of the park. Like we were the first podcast to call Logan Paul a piece of shit because he doesn't know what a charity fight is. Here he wants to knock out a NBA player that has zero fighting experience, and
Wow.
Everyone was like, "Yeah!" Instant reaction. People were like, "This guy's awesome," and we tried to start the domino effect of, "No, it's not awesome. The guy's a jerk off that has no idea. Like, you're doing this for charity, dude.
Right.
Get your fucking head straight. You don't need to go. You have height advantage. You have weight advantage on Nate Robinson, a guy who's also, by the way, doing this for charity. And Nate Robinson looks like if Kevin Hart could play basketball and isn't an identical fucking body. It was just and then from that point on, you see like the week after, man, people were like, well, maybe he is a scumbag. So I'm not saying that we started it. Also, Pete Davidson, Kim Kardashian, the whole Kanye West, the love triangle, the hate triangle. You have to get into it because
has huge ambitions of mental health and like just insane craziness. From I don't know if you've heard about the whole Kanye thing, from start to finish. Oh, the whole thing is a train wreck wrapped in an enigma. And kind of
the worst thing is that people are taking Kanye West as a person of seriousness when he's talking, which he is serious, but he shouldn't be taken seriously because he's already screamed loudly many times that he's mentally fucked up. you know, that he doesn't know what he's doing, that he has no idea. He's schizophrenic. He's bipolar. He says he has ADHD.
He has cried out for help.
Check everything on the list. And then as I don't want to paint the guy as a victim, but in a certain light, you can't just, you know, stick a microphone in the face of anybody that's at the Special Olympics and say, hey, do you hate the Jews? And then they're like, yeah, they're like, oh, we got a bunch of Nazis down here, you know, at the Special Olympics competing, because that's not even close to being ethically journalistically correct. It's just ridiculous, but that's just my opinion. You may disagree, Danielle. You may say, you know what? Fuck that guy. I hate his music. No? All right. Well, I'm not really getting much of a read off here. I'm just getting like a.
No, I don't talk about that stuff. That's why it's funny. I don't talk about controversial stuff hardly at all, because my show is different. But you can talk about whatever you want, and I'll just say.
I mean, I couldn't count Kanye West as controversial because we're not really taking much of a. We're not really saying much of anything about him. We're just stating.
Oh, you're okay. No, I'm saying no. He is though. He's definitely can be controversial in my yeah. So no, you're good. I'm just saying that's why I'm just sitting here going, yeah. But no, whatever anybody thinks is what they think. It's fine.
See, I was getting the read off you. I'm like, I'm saying something to piss her off. Like you got like a Kanye West blow up doll over there, like that. You
oh no!
Next on, I'm like, man. There must be something in that room.
No, never been to a concert of his. I do not have a blow up doll of his. No,
I do.
And I'm not a Kardashian lover. Oh, well, yeah. Wonderful.
Yeah.
But no, I just, yeah, like some of the stuff. I'm not really good with like following things. That's a bad thing. That's why my show's not about that stuff, because I have no clue sometimes. But I know some of the stuff he did was he involved his kids, and I'm a mom. I did not like that. And so, yeah. So those are things I don't agree with. I don't think that, you know, you should put all your business out on the streets and like, you know, but it helped him the one time he got to go to the birthday party. So, you know, like, I don't know. But
I like how he rolled up in a Ferrari and said Adidas robbed him.
Oh, see, I don't know that stuff. I don't know. Oh, because they stopped his deal, right?
There you go. You see,
there you go.
Yeah,
see, I do know some stuff.
Adidas stopped his deal, and
or whatever.
He already made that money from before time, right? So he rolls up in a Ferrari, gets out. News is already there. He's like, Adidas robbed me.
No. He called the press to hold the conference.
Wow.
Yeah, so
showed up in his Lambo.
You know, we go over like the Amber Heard stuff, and then, you know, like we touch on a little bit of everything. But your show is mainly focused. You do one-on-one interviews on your show. It can be found on Spotify, Spreaker, all of that, right?
Yeah. So yes. And then well, it's supposed to be on YouTube as well, but that's been fun. Some episodes are so are not. So I have to get more consistent. I had somebody helping me edit, and then right now I can't do it that way because of, you know, just a little bit of, not saying I'm broke, not on live stuff, but you know, just sometimes I can't afford to pay somebody at the time. It's not that I can't afford it. It's just, you know, you got to pay for other stuff.
No, there's priorities.
So,
priorities.
Right. So yeah, so season 2, almost all of it so far has been on YouTube, and a couple episodes probably won't be, and then I will pick up, but I'll do it. They won't be as good as quality, let me say that, as my guy, because he's really good at editing. But I edit my audio, and that was easy, but editing video is really hard. But yeah, it's everywhere else. And yeah, it's, I mean, you can listen to it on any of the platforms. So and I love it. Yeah, it's one-on-one. I've interviewed I think a couple times 2 people at a time, like a couple or whatever. So it just depends on what the situation is. And then eventually, like, I want to do live like you guys are, which is really awesome. Great job. Because it's a lot that goes into it, I'm pretty sure.
You were talking about earlier about not living in fear anymore off air. You know, you were talking about not living in fear anymore. Can you give an example of what that's been like for yourself personally, and any advice for others that are out there that might be living in similar fear, and expand on that a little bit for the viewing audience?
Absolutely. So so living in fear for me like has been forever since I was like, so when I was a little kid, I wasn't scared of anything. Like I would literally, we lived in different countries. So we lived in Germany. My dad was in the army. So I would go climb up the mountain and rappel down. I didn't care. Like, I didn't even like, which is not probably smart. I was like, you know what I'm saying? And I was like, we left when I was 12. So 10, 11, 12, I would do that. I mean, I would go up high as crap, wasn't scared, would play any sport, I played football so good, but they wouldn't let me play on a team. Like I did all these things, would go on the scariest, fastest ride, all those things. And then I got to the point where I started liking boys. Okay. Not that I was a lesbian before, but I was a kid. So I started liking boys. And then I started letting other people's thoughts of me change the thoughts of me. So I started like getting manipulated, and I was with a narcissist before. And it's also my fault because I allowed him to control how I perceived myself. So I started being fearful of everything. Like I was scared. I was scared of what people thought about me. I was scared of what would happen if I did this. I mean, I was just scared of so many things. And so that stopped me from living the life maybe that I could have. Now at this point I had 2 kids. So I was young and I had kids at 18 and 20. And so
I was just going to ask what age group is this at?
Yeah. So 18 and 20. And then, you know, and I was with that guy for a few years, and then it would be like, I would move away and he would come and I would be scared and I'd be like, oh, okay, what am I going to do? And so I did a lot of things.
That does sound like you did the normal step by step that's taught for people in life, right? You graduate high school, you're with somebody, high school sweetheart, married, kid, bam. And then you get roped up into it where, it's a bad situation, but it's a worse situation, anything else, because it doesn't take too much foresight to realize the troubled path you can go down if you choose to leave that situation, because it's kind of you create your own prison that way.
And also better said than done.
Yeah,
absolutely.
If people win the Powerball, they don't normally say out loud, like, well, what would you do with the money? They don't say, I'd leave my husband and I'd get us the hell out of this house. I'd get a good divorce attorney. And, normally they just say like car, Disneyland, heroin. No,
Well,
normally not heroin, but yeah.
that's a lot of heroin. If you're using
that might be on the secret. That might be on the secret list right there.
Too much.
Kevin, I want to be a millionaire, but I don't want to work for it.
Yeah. Me neither.
Just give me money. Just give it to me.
Well, wait a second. Didn't Bankman Fried do that kind of stuff?
Yeah, he did.
That kind of sounds familiar.
Yeah.
But I'm sorry there, Danielle. Go on. You said that you were
right.
you're about 18, 20 years old. You're married. Yep. You got the 2 kids going on. You're living in your own device of fear at the moment.
And you left at one point, or
no? So yeah. So I was not married. I had, which is one of my jokes, 2 baby daddies. So it wasn't the same guy. So there's some jokes there. And then he was very abusive, and the second one. And so I actually ended up leaving the state with 2 kids with just clothes. I've done that twice actually, and left the situation.
Wait. I'm trying to timeline it. Boyfriend number 1, controlling, control freak. Boyfriend number 2, abusive, control freak.
Yeah, there you go. Okay.
Yes. Okay.
So then so we ended up
throw it out there, but women at that point might be the next third option, switch up the gender completely.
Yeah.
I didn't, because I didn't, but so then I actually
I rolled up the eyes. She's like,
that was a
yeah.
Could have, but I didn't. But so then eventually we split up, but I ended up leaving the state with the 2 kids and went to where my family is from. And so I lived there for a long time. And then Then I got married. So then my daughter's father, which she can probably hear me, so I'm not going to talk really bad, but that situation wasn't that great either. And then got divorced and, but became a blended family and all that stuff. So also like fear also was part of that too. But I was never scared enough to not leave though. Eventually I would leave. So then I came here. So I left with 3 kids now and came to Georgia, and that's where I am. And then it gets to the point where like literally I turned 40 this year. And for the last couple years, I actually have been with my new guy. Well, we're engaged, but for 4 years now. And that's what really helped me kind of see the good qualities in myself, but also I got to the point where I had to like shut out the other thoughts of people and just be like, you know what? I don't care what they say. I need to like be the real me. And so basically, you know, and then now I've been working on a journey of like forgiveness and really the way that I've always tried to help people and people's feedback of like when I started the show, like literally the year I shut down my photography studio because I was doing photography. I didn't have the love for it anymore. And I was just like, I was working so hard with nursing and photography and it was too much. And I just didn't have the passion for it. So I shut it down at the beginning of this year in February. And then in March, I started comedy classes. And then by April, I think April or May was our graduation. I think our graduation was like in April or something. I don't know. Anyways, or May, whatever. And then, so yeah, so I'm like, whatever. I don't know the timeline, but it just kept trickling from that. Right. So yeah.
I dropped 1, picked up 14 others.
You know what?
right.
It's really, you know, I'm just going to say it's really tough to encapsulate 20 extra years into what I'm guessing she's trying to do in 5 minutes. We go for an hour here. So, you know, take your time. We're going to have some follow-up questions. We're going to want you to stop and slow it down here and there. So, well, what I'm guessing is abusive relationships and the acknowledgement. You had an awakening. I'm guessing you had a type of awakening in your head that
Right.
you said to yourself, what was that point? How old were you when it finally hit? And then how old were you when you acted on that? Because there's 2 separate times when you finally know right off the bat,
Yeah.
but you can't instantaneously do anything about it. So how old were you when that hit? And how old were you when you were able to do something about it?
So, I mean, there's different aspects of it because there's different abuse. So, for instance, like in the physical abuse one, I dealt with that for so long. And it's like, oh, you have kids and blah, blah, blah. And I realized it was bad. Well, I mean, as soon as it happened, right? It's not good.
Yeah,
but,
I mean, you don't really strike me as somebody that I want to immediately punch in the face. You know what I mean?
Well,
like you don't really.
you.
You're welcome.
That sounds horrible, but it's.
I mean, there's a
it's
list
like,
of
you know.
people that like you look at them and you're like, oh man, I was just on steroids right now. You know, but
Well, thank you. I hope to not be that person. And so, but that age, after I left the one, I had never been in a physical abusive relationship again. So that was in my 20s. So when like I left that time, then I didn't accept that again. And I was very cautious. And that's the thing that I want people to know is that you learn, right? You got to learn and grow. And that's how you heal, is that you pay attention now. You need to be more aware, right? So like start seeing the signs of stuff. So if somebody tries to isolate you from everyone, hello, that's bad. And that's what happened. So that's a red flag. If somebody tries to pull you from your family and everybody you love and controls you, like that's something that you need to try to run away from. I don't know if you got to save up money or what you got to do, or if you have anybody to go to, but even if you have kids, you've got to get away from that because it's so dangerous and it will go up and up and up in degrees of how bad it gets. It just doesn't usually stay there like, oh, There's just a little controlling. No, controlling becomes, I mean, I've had my clothes, he ripped off my clothes and then went slashed the tires so I wouldn't leave the house. Chase me wasn't I first slashed tires. So there's a lot of stuff.
And it is an effective way to keep you from running away and all that nice stuff, but it's just a terrible way to treat somebody.
Yeah.
Why do you feel like, I'm sure you've already gone through this in your own head. Why do you feel like he felt like he could do that? Or why would he want to do that to another person? Have you ever tried to run through your head on why somebody would do that to somebody, especially
just rationalization in general?
Yeah, it's personally happening to yourself. And I mean, I've been fucked over before in life before too. And the first thing you normally go for when it's an uncontrollable situation is, well, maybe they did it because of this. Maybe they did it because of that. And, you start playing fucking defense attorney for some kind of scumbag. And sometimes it's just because they're a scumbag. But what were the reasonings that you were bringing up in your head?
Well, so that person in particular is literally a narcissist, probably a lot of stuff, but they did it after me as well. So to other people. So that person was a lot shorter than me as well. And I'm not talking bad about short people. But they say there's like the short man complex, and that was like about control and everything. And so it could
because
be that.
From a very young age, they're told they can't go on the rides.
Well, everybody's not allowed to go on the rides when they're little.
They make everybody else's life a roller coaster because they
lift.
couldn't go on the roller coaster.
That might be it. I don't know. But yeah, so I mean, honestly, like, and you're right. There is always a part that everybody plays. So then when you look back, I'm like, okay, well, especially with my my marriage. So like with that situation, I mean, I think I was doing as much as I could to try to like not get beat, but I stayed around a lot for it. So that's part of my problem, is that I kept saying it's not okay, this is horrible. But then when I moved, he would come and I would be like, oh, well, now he's here, and the cops would be like, you can't kick him out, So I don't know the reasons why that person, I don't know if they're like that now because we're 40, but for a long time afterwards, I knew that they were still like that. So I had a part to play. I mean, I would get smart and say something back, but I feel like I had a right to, like, if you're, putting your hands on me, I'm not going to sit there and be quiet about it. But with the situation when I got married, like there was a lot of things that happened. And again, my daughter can probably hear, but there was like cheating involved, and I did not want to cheat. And, it got to the point where it was also my fault because I wasn't going to do something with somebody that was cheating on me. So I was like, what, what I'm saying? And then it's at the point where, oh, you're a man, you're just going to do it. And then it was like, okay, well, I just want to be out of the, out of the whole thing then. And I don't want to make her upset and she's not.
No.
But there was a part that I played in that because it got to the point where it was like, well, now I'm not giving any affection to somebody. So of course, like I wanted you to stop, but now it's like, okay, well, have your fun. I see you later, alligator, like, so it's just, I mean, but yeah, like, but if things keep happening to somebody, yeah, you're like, what's happening? But it's also I think the people that I was allowing to chose or whatever, and there was a lot of red flags before and I didn't pay attention to them. And
Danielle, I mean, right now,
yeah,
you have to know that we've gone through this with many other guests, and I always have to check everybody where their altitude is. Okay, how do you feel this right now, being on the Podguyz podcast, being obviously the peak of your career?
Okay.
How does it feel? I always ask, no matter the guest,
That's
we always
true.
ask,
That is true.
how is that feeling right now? Because
do you feel
some-
refreshed? Do you feel a little loose?
some
Do you
people
feel-
do not. Some people don't realize that it's all downhill from here after
That's
this
true.
podcast.
That's
you
true.
know?
Oh, wow. So I feel pretty good about it then.
There
I
you
guess.
go. We're gonna take a pretty good. I'll take that 4 out of 10 stars right there. We're
Yeah.
not
Oh, God.
better than McDonald's, worse than Arby's,
Yeah.
sort of thing. But where would they find your podcast? You have a Facebook, right? You have a Facebook?
Yeah, I have a Facebook, Instagram.
The gram.
I have
Bam.
a Twitter, but I don't do much, but the episodes go on there. And I have YouTube, and it's all basically, so the Facebook and the Instagram are Authentic Points of View podcast.
Nice.
And then the I think that's what the YouTube is, to be honest, too. And then my personal stuff is just Danielle Booher. And then on Instagram it's Danielle Booher 82.
Did you cook up anything nice for the holidays, or do you not? Are you not the cooker in the house, or is somebody else do the cooking?
Not Christmas, we didn't do it, but Thanksgiving I made all the stuff, and then we go give food to the homeless in Atlanta. So
Nice.
we always make extra to give away. So but Christmas we didn't. So we went to the movies and the normal stuff that people do. And then we went to
I
my
thought you were
mom.
gonna say this year we didn't because we were homeless. I thought that's what you were gonna say. I'm like, oh,
No.
Oh my
have-
God.
She has a
I can have a
wall.
wall too, man.
Yeah,
You
she
know,
has a
like,
wall.
I can just like throw the green screen on me and fucking
Oh
No,
my god.
let's get into the podcasting because your
kicks
point
on
of
the
view.
door. What are you doing at my house? You're like, oh fuck, guys, I gotta go.
I feel like Kevin has bombardier the whole podcast with all of his questions, and I never cut in. I've never cut in.
Cut.
I should cut. Your point of view podcast, of course. If you were to say that, of course, of all the interviews that you have done, who was your favorite interview and what did you guys talk about?
Oh, that is tough. That's not a fair question. Who's your favorite kid? Not a fair question.
I have one.
Oh,
I have two
Tony
kids.
can make
I have a
that.
favorite.
Tony's got that Sophie's Choice ready to roll.
I'm
got
not.
that lock, stock, and
Oh
barrel.
no,
Julius
so-
Caesar.
Oh my gosh. Let's see. Okay. Ooh, that's really tricky because I've interviewed my friends as well. I'd say, oh man, I'm gonna get in trouble. Well, Shane was so many people were awesome, but I think my favorite was probably her name is Beth Leipold's, and she actually is a influencer actually, and she's a real person that is like shows her real life, and her son is deaf, and he was on the show a little bit. And it showed like it was our loudest one because he was banging on stuff and doing everything. He's 3. And then my daughter got to show her face on it for the first time. So that was definitely probably my favorite. And the great thing about Beth is that she like shut me down when I was like, you're so calm. She was like, oh, no. You don't understand. Because she has ADHD. She was like, no. And I got to see her really react. And it was, I mean, it's not live, but we, are live with each other. And
Sure.
so, and she was like, oh no, this is my real life. And so he was going everywhere and doing everything. And she was trying to get him to stay focused. And so, to just see it like behind the scenes, and she shows it on, TikTok and Instagram, but she wrote a book, and it's so amazing. It's called ABCs of Inclusion. And she wrote it, and it has physical disabilities and ones that you can't see. So she has like, I think bipolar on there, Down syndrome, like all kinds of amazing things, blind, deaf, everything. And
that was everything that her child was?
No. What's in her book.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
Gotcha.
So, and he has something called Waardenburg syndrome, which I had never heard of. And so I learned about that.
Enlighten us.
Yeah.
What is that?
Yeah.
Okay. So what it is actually, it's pretty interesting. So they're born with these really, really like sharp blue eyes, beautiful blue eyes, and a white streak of hair. And usually they keep it their whole life. And so a lot of them
Is it like a form of like albinoism, or
I don't know.
I feel like
It's
she's
just
just
like
describing
one...
a husky. I'm not sure.
Huskies are pretty. So it does sound like a husky, but it's not. But so he was born deaf, and so that's part of it as well. Some of them become deaf. Some it's very they have a lot more issues than he has. So but he has always, it's so funny because she said even before he got his, so he has cochlear implants. And so he's so intelligent. He just turned 3 and he is so smart, but she works with him so much. And so that's what I know about. I don't know a lot about it, but she talked about it. And so it can affect a lot of their senses and a lot of things. Some of them have like disformities with it, like maybe to a limb, but I think, don't quote me, but he does not have those things. And he just, he has cochlear implants that are so cool. And she literally Bluetooth Lizzo to him because he loves the song About Damn Time. So he just posted at Christmas that, and it's so funny. And he says it and he's straight. Yeah, he goes about time, but he's the only one that can hear it. So she plays it randomly and she starts dancing and he's like, about damn time, 3 years old. And so he's like, and he's like, and she's like, it's a silent disco. No.
Man, that just proves how close we really are to that Neuralink idea.
I know. I was just gonna say that too. I'm like,
Right.
God damn, Elon Musk.
Well, it's amazing that they can do that because I have patients that have gotten cochlear implants, and I did not know that there was a version that could do that. It's really cool, and like even if he's like, it goes up to so many yards, she can speak to him through it, and he'll hear it. Like,
Yeah.
you know, without her yelling, she'll speak into the mic or whatever.
No,
It
that's
is-
through. I'm sorry. That's through
ahead.
bone induction, right?
Yeah, so like implanted into the
That,
Yeah.
I mean,
To the
not
skull.
not like, I'm just thinking of very, you know, like kids got a tough life to that just got made easier with technology, but that is, I would assume, impossible to diagnose schizophrenia with.
Oh,
well,
true.
because you can
Yeah.
hear stuff in your head. Well, that would be hard. Yeah.
Yeah,
Yeah.
like how would you do, like, well,
How
then
would you
again, you don't
explain
know
it?
if somebody hacked the device and is just trying to fuck with the kid, you know, and you just, you know, because you got psychopaths out there.
I
that would
hope
do it.
not.
Oh, I mean, I'm just, I mean,
Well,
worst case
as you know, there
scenario.
are some people in the world.
Yeah.
Yeah,
We're-
well, people
but-
hack baby monitors, so
They
you
do
never know.
hack baby
Yeah, they do.
monitors. You
They
see those
do.
things where they are, and you know, we as kids, it was all in our heads, but now these kids is really some crazy people that are going on the cameras. Go ahead, Tom.
So I guess my follow-up question
Yeah.
would be, since you have interviewed all of these people, you do have a similar, of course, personal life as you're sharing with your with your podcasters and fellow people. What did you learn that you have, or all right, what have you picked up from others that you are now constantly using in your life in order to enhance, of course, the things with you and your son as well?
Oh, wow. So
Yeah, I know. Deep. It's deep.
such a deep question
Yeah,
for this.
that's a
No,
deep
yeah.
question.
So I've learned a lot of
We're an
stuff,
educational podcast, by the way.
Yeah, we could go that route, man. You know?
We're not just all comedy, goddammit.
No, but I've learned a lot. Actually, I learned from every single person, to be honest. And that
Sure.
sounds like a corny question. I mean answer, but yeah, I do. And so with so Shane taught me a lot because my son got diagnosed at 4 of ADHD, but a lot of talking to a lot of the men has helped me a lot as well. And I also have helped them, which is good because they can see it from the mother's perspective. So this guy asked me, like, he's not with his kids anymore. They split up, and he's like, how did you deal with it? Because I said, you know, I don't hold a grudge, but mine's been many, many years. And that's what I told him. I said, listen, I said, it's not fresh for me. It's fresh for you and it's fresh for her. So that's a different situation. But I learned, like, you know, with my sons, and I have a 21-year-old that, you know, listened to my first episode. Yay. He we just talked about it last night. I was like, did you listen to the one episode with the, he's like, no. But yeah, so I learned a lot because our relationship isn't that great. And so talking to the men and, you know, also my fiance, but the guest has helped communicate with them on a different level, because I can, like, when men are vulnerable and they tell me like the things that, you know, they're like, oh, well, this is how I feel about this. And I'm like, oh crap. And, so I could see it from a different perspective. And that's how things have helped me, because I can maybe see it from my kids' perspectives, or again,
regardless of gender. I mean, regardless of gender, there's a lot of similarities. Not necessarily like broken homes and broken families, and integrating other families into your own family. There's a lot of what goes through, and you hear that from somebody else and you're like, wow, like this is my life.
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah, that's true. Because people are like, well, you only interview people that you can relate to. And I'm like, well, no, because honestly, like that's the point of my show. I can relate to anybody, because I would say, like, I interviewed someone about genealogy and I was like, you know what? I have no interest in this. It just aired actually last Wednesday. And I was like, I don't know. And I told her this straight up during the interview, because I'm honest. And I was like, this has been so fun. And I didn't think it was going to be that fun, because it's not something that I've been like, history, woo, and like she's a history buff. Like she has, I think I don't know. She has a lot of different degrees and all this stuff, and she loves it. And so, but she taught me so much, and I love to learn. So it's like, and then I could relate to different things, because I'm like, oh crap, like I never thought of it that way. Right. So, and yes, I've talked to people that, have been in domestic abuse situations, or whatever the case may be, or single moms, or whatever. But I've also talked to people that I have like nothing really. I talked to a millionaire, and I'm not a millionaire yet, about real estate. Right. And so that was really cool. Yeah, I will be.
Yeah,
everybody, I will be. But yeah, so, I mean, and so that's really cool. It's the whole point is, like, no matter what country people are in, you always have something in common, right? And it's not just that you're a female or a male. Of course, that's easy to say, yeah, we have that in common, but it's more than that. And that's the fun, awesome thing about like people and humans, is that there's always something underlying that you don't even know about them. But if you take the time to listen to people, you'll find like, holy crap, like, I think about that too, or I like that too, or whatever, I don't think I answered the question, but.
All right, that's all right. So my last question is, of course, what would be your advice if you were to give anybody, as far as red flags in your relationship, what kind of advice would you give going forward?
Yeah, like you already gave the advice on what to look for as warning signs. So what do you look for in a person anymore when it comes to personalization?
Yeah. And not to say that you're like, you're not comparing in a relationship, because if you go into a different relationship, of course, different people, different things, different problems.
Right.
You need to solve your problem. You need to get, coincide together to get on the same page, and then work through that problem in general. But what are the red flags that you would say that, you would give advice to people, as far as if you are in a relationship, if you do see this particular problem, where can you go? Who can you see? Who can you talk to? That whole situation.
Yeah. So basically, there's so many things that you can do. So like, say for instance, like I talked about, if they try to isolate you from anyone, the thing divide and conquer, right? So like war. So it's the same kind of concept. But there's also, if somebody can call you out of your name, and abuse, of course. And the fact that they say, like, I
call
do
you
this,
out of your name. I don't get that one.
Oh, like a bitch or something.
Okay. Yeah.
So like, or if they're like,
calling, meow.
But like, if people are like, well, I hit you because I love you. What? No, because we don't hit. No, I've been told that so many times. So, but the thing is, like, those things, of course, are red flags. But lying. Hello, I hate liars because of that. So if you notice things, pay attention, right? So it doesn't matter if you're female or male, because females lie too, right? Females lie. Females can be abusive. All those things. So I'm just talking to anybody. It doesn't matter what gender you are or what you identify as. These can happen to anyone. If you're being lied to, if people are being sneaky, if their phone is always with them, Yeah, red flag. So because that means they don't want you to see what's going on. Not that you should search through their stuff, but if everything is always hush hush, that means something's going on. Okay. So what you can do is now there's like a million life coaches. There's counselors. Like even if you have like state insurance, you can get help through counselors. You be careful who you talk to
There are
though.
literal groups of people on Facebook that you can go and talk to people
Absolutely.
in a
There are
group.
groups, yeah. So there's shelters. Like I lived in a homeless shelter when I was pregnant with my second son. So there's so many things that you can do, but you got to make sure you're safe. Make a plan. Don't write down that
Call
plan.
them shelters at that point, because I think homeless is already implied, because you're obviously
It's
without
called a homeless shelter, yeah.
Yeah,
but
they should just call it a shelter. Like the homeless is, it's like
I like just shelter. Yeah.
Yeah. But it was yeah, I think it was a homeless shelter, but it was
because
all
one
female
is kind of like redundant of the other, like like homeless. Oh my god, shelter. Well,
I know
then it doesn't
that
sound like it's so
in
homeless.
general, like we have friends, of course, that not necessarily are homeless, but I know that they segregate according to men and women, especially in the homeless shelters, so that of course, not to say that all homeless people are rapists, but they have that mentality, unfortunately. So then they segregate even people who are couples into men and women shelters as well.
Right.
Yeah,
Absolutely.
you don't want too many. You want the baby Jesus to come out in the manger, not procreated in the manger.
Yeah.
So I mean, there's so many places that you can get help, and then the family services, like whatever your state is called, they can give you references to stuff. So it's like whatever your issue is, even if you're like addicted to drug, whatever you're going through, there's always resources. And like you said, there's groups. So find like-minded people that everybody's in stages. So maybe they're like on the way out, or maybe somebody just got out of that situation and maybe they can help you. If you have friends or family that can help you, don't ever be scared to ask for help, because it might save your life. So this is it. I mean, honestly, like if it can protect you and your kids, if you have kids, then even though you might be embarrassed, just do it. Because think about this. If you don't and you're not here, then
you're putting your children in potential danger.
Absolutely. So those are some of the like main red flags. And that's even in relationships of any type, even if you're not sleeping with the person. That's friendships, that's whatever. There's a lot of toxic people in the world. Like, I mean, if you're in a toxic situation, you don't deserve it. You need to get out. Or if you're the toxic one, stop.
Yeah, well, Tony, do you have any? Well, we gotta wrap it up with the New Year's resolutions from the Podguyz, and Danielle, you're gonna join us on this one. Tony, what is your New Year's resolution? Did you write it down? Do you think really hard about it? Because I know what mine is, but I'll let you go first. Because,
well, you're gonna enlighten us first, because I don't have one.
You don't have one.
I don't have one. You know what? And this is sad, because every year you go into New Year's resolutions, right? And everybody's like, "Oh, I'm gonna lose weight. I'm gonna do more exercise. I'm gonna be a better person." And then, like,
I like how the mocking tone is there. You're gonna do stuff for myself.
I'm gonna eat less junk food. I'm gonna eat more ice cream. Like,
that's it. No more cookies.
I'm a realistic person. Unfortunately, I guess. I like to set realistic goals for myself. My realistic goal, podcast through 2023.
We got signed for another year of Podguyz, right?
Yay!
Yeah.
Yeah.
Now, I know my New Year's resolution was definitely to share and like merchbooth.com, where you can find great Podguyz podcast merchandise, like this shirt right here.
Shameless plug, by the way. Shameless plug.
No shame. No shame in that plug.
That's why I said shameless. Shameless.
Listen, it's a resolution. It is not a plug. It just feels like a commercial, because, well, it probably is. Anyways, You can find the hoodies there, the t-shirts there, the zip-up hoodies or the pullover hoodies are both or just plain old t-shirts, long
I
sleeve,
love the
short
baby
sleeve.
Gap A strings.
The baby Gap A strings. Yeah, like if you have a child or a baby or an infant and you want to have the Podguyz on
Tank
that
tops.
kid,
Tank tops.
Podguyz podcast. Yeah, onesies, twosies.
Yeah.
We don't do threesies though.
No
those are too much.
threesies. No.
It's too much. But that is my New Year's resolution, is to make sure that I'm on that website as you are
Ooh.
normally every day.
Sparky has
Sparky
a resolution.
He's got a New Year's resolution, but he doesn't.
You would have
really
never
follow-
thought he was part of the show, but you know what? He pops out like the plague.
Actually, I
Rearing
got,
his ugly
I
little
got
head.
Kevin's
Let's
New
see
Year's
it, Sparky. What do you
resolution
got?
first. I got Kevin's New Year's resolution first this year. So.
Yeah.
Kevin's New Year's resolution. It will be a sphere this year.
There you go.
Oh, look at that. The pyramid.
The spearmid is the
is
new
a
thing we're going
spearmid.
to call the spearmid. It's going to be what we're going
It's
to do is
reciprocating.
we're gonna pass around. We're gonna call it podcast pass around, and
It is the
it's
podcast
gonna be
pass
one
around.
sphere instead of a pyramid.
Danielle, we are going to end this show, sweetie. Of course, we will give you the red carpet. If people were going to find you, how would they find you?
Yeah, just basically all the things that I said. That's basically it. I don't have too much. And then my life coaching stuff, I will have a website for that. But basically I have a pod page website, and I think it's just like literally authentic points of view, like podpage.com. I'm not sure. Podcasts. And then that's basically at the YouTube and all the other things. And that's how you can find me.
Nice.
Thanks.
Danielle Booher. Booher. Boo.
Oh!
Boo.
Ooh.
No. Thank you very much for coming on the show today.
Thank
We appreciate
you.
your time and expertise. Of course. Guys, make sure you like, share, hit some stars below. We are a content creator. Of course. Every week, we are the Podguyz podcast. Sparky, where can you happen to find us if you were looking for us?
Well, you can actually find us on every single major streaming platform, including Google, iHeartRadio, Spotify, Spreaker, Deezer, Castbox, Pocket Cast, Geo Rio, Wise Radio Network, and
Google
Stuff that
Podcasts.
Huh?
Google Podcasts.
Google Podcast.
And Google Podcast.
Yes, brand new. Brand new.
10 places.
But if you don't like anything we say or don't like anything we wear, you can always contact and send us hate mail to thepodguyzpodcast@gmail.com.
Ah, that's true. That is true.
See, you don't get graphics like that on every podcast, do you, Danielle?
No,
That's
that was high class right there. I like
yeah, it's HD also. It's just 4K right there.
Thank you guys for watching. Make sure you hit the like and share button below. I am Tony Kaz.
Kevin Neary.
Of course, the ever-loving Picasso.
Spark A, and next week starts, don't you?
New Year's. Next week,
Celebrity Death
Pool 2023.
We have the in memoriam, and then
We
we
will
go from
crown
in
a
memoriam.
winner.
We go from the in memoriam to the death pool there, Danielle. So we go to the sorry to see you go. I wonder who's gonna go next.
Oh no.
That's
Yeah,
2023.
Oh yeah, yeah. Yeah, the 1 year, the 1 year was the first year starting it up was it was the day after Kobe Bryant's unfortunate accident.
Oh,
So yeah, we still
Aw.
do it. Yeah, it's still doable.
All right. Thank you guys for watching. Make
Hey.
sure you check in next week. Guys, have a great night.